Theis, what role does dating, like how often do Danes actually go on dates?
Um, I would say that it is quite rare that Danes go on dates because it involves a lot of interaction, just two people, and I don't think that that many people likes to do that. I think that it is more common to meet on a social media or at a place where there's a lot of other people instead of just going on a date when the first time you meet or the second time you meet.
When that does come, is there a lot of pressure on the first date?
I don't know actually. I have never been on a date because it isn't that common to be on a date. I don't remember any of my friends going on a date, and I think it's kind of a grown up thing. I know I'm 21, but I think it's a dating is for when I'm done educating and I'm just working and I don't have a girlfriend. Then dating is the sure call. But I don't think it is right now for me.
You mentioned social media sites. Do a lot of people meet online?
Yeah, online dating is a very huge thing in Denmark. I think one of the commercials in TV says 250,000 met online on our website. And I have no idea if it's true or not, but it says something. A lot of people like to meet on the internet before actually going on, I don't know, date meeting at a club or something, because then you get the maybe the pressure of get to know the person a little better before you have to go for a conversation that may last more than just 10 minutes.
How do the Danes feel about sex? Is there a lot of pressure, or is it um, do Danes have a very pretty casual feeling towards sex?
I think it's quite casual. That's a we have a kind of casual lifestyle in Denmark, and that is definitely seen in our approach to sex. It's quite easy to pick up a partner in the nightlife in Denmark. It is quite easy to talk about sex with your parents, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, whatever. And I don't think it is a taboo. It's more a part of life that everyone accepts and doesn't really have a problem talking with it anymore. I know my granddads. They are definitely not talking and will never talk about sex or accept it as a thing that you can socialize around. But the new generations are definitely more open, and I think even my mom and dad's generation are quite open towards sex. And that might also be the reason for homosexuality to be a completely okay thing. There is no one who are anti-homosexuals in Denmark.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think there are no anti-homosexuals in Denmark?
That's a very good question. I actually don't really know, but we have a kind of we have a social um, net in Denmark which picks you up when you don't have a job, when you don't have a house, when you're all by yourself. And I think that might go through your mentality um, in your way of life. So you kind of accept people for who they are because the system accepts your flaws, your inability to get a job, to get a normal housing or something like that.
I think that's a
And I think it might shine through.
I think that's a mentality that the U.S. should pick up as well. A lot of people are a little bit stuck up or have show a little bit of bigotry in the United States, and I think that if people adopted this Danish mentality, it would be best for the country. But what else?
It's two different cultures. We're both the Western world, but it's still, so far away, and it is two different cultures. America is a mix-up between, South America, Asia, Europe, and the people who were there in the beginning. And they have a very, very, I wouldn't use the word extreme, but they have a very, what do you call it? They have a special sense of freedom. The freedom is a much stronger word in the in the USA than it is in Denmark. To be free in Denmark is not important. To be part of society is a lot more important. And I think that some of those gaps between the cultures creates these situations where you might want to adapt some of the Danish culture, like we want to adapt some of the German culture. The German are the most hardworking people in the world, and we would like to adapt the American liberal way of thinking, where you can do whatever you want to do and you can live the American dream. And I think the gaps are are creating these situations.
Take us through a typical Friday night in your life.
A typical Friday night in my life would start at just about 4, 5 when I get off at work. Usually I have something planned, a party at the university, a gathering with my friends. There's always something happening Friday because it's the first day of the weekend. You are tired of a long week and you have to go release all your, what do you call it,
Your stress?
Yeah, the stress. So I would probably go home at around 5, and depends on where I'm eating. If I'm eating home alone, I'll shop at the supermarket first and then probably go eat right away at 6 o'clock so I can get out of my apartment as fast as possible to meet with my friends.
Okay.
Because the Friday night has to be as long as possible because, I don't often go out on Saturdays because I can't I can't afford what you think in homework. I have to do a lot of homework. So Friday night is quite often my night off all week long. So it's usually ending up in the nightlife of Copenhagen.
Okay. Now, what time do you usually go out? Like 11? 11 or so?
It depends what I'm going to do. If I'm going to a party at the university, I might be out of the door at 10, 11. If I am going to a nightclub, it could be 12, 1 a.m.
Okay.
But it really depends. When you don't know what to do, it could also be 2 a.m.
Does, like, if you're in a bar, let's say, does the girl usually approach the boy? Does the boy usually approach the girl? Does it not really happen? What's it like to start a conversation with a stranger?
It's not very normal to start a conversation with a stranger. It's more normal in the nightlife than it is in a normal day, but it's not that normal. So I would definitely say that the boys are taking the first step, but not as much as it could be.
Right.
People gather at tables and just sit with their friends, and it depends on when in the evening it is. When it's late, everybody just interacts, but at first people just gather in groups.
Right. Now, what else? Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything that we didn't cover? Anything that you think that American students should know about but don't?
Well, I would say in the Copenhagen nightlife, money is a very big factor. There's a lot of young people, especially young girls from rich suburbs at the age of maybe 18, 19, just looking for older boys, maybe 25 and above, with, I wouldn't say a lot of money, but showing that they have money. If you buy a table with bottles, it's quite easy to get the attention of a lot of girls. And if you're a everyday guy, just going to the party, not going to pay for a table, it's definitely a lot harder.
Okay.
Money is a great factor in Copenhagen, and it's the only city in the world where I have experienced this thing.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Theis.
Welcome.